If you go to the UK today, the Nigerians remain Nigerian. If you go to the UK today, the Asians remain Asians. The only person has an identity is the Zimbabwean. Take a Zimbabwean to South Africa, he is Zulu. Take a Zimbabwean to Botswana, he is Tswana. Take a Zimbabwean to the UK, he speaks English like the British. A Zimbabwean is not proud of his culture. A Zimbabwean is not proud yekwakabva. Zimbabwean can easily change at any time. That is the tragedy of a Zimbabwean. We thought kuti kana vana vedu vadzidza mapa equal level, you will be proud even of speaking Ndebele uri kwauri. You will be proud even of speaking Shona uri kwauri. Take a Zimbabwean to the UK, mwana waka atauri Shona. This is who we have become. A people without a dress code, a people without culture, a people without a way of life, a people without defined parameters. Even our marriages are hatichaziva. You get what I mean? I urge you as a Christian community to define your culture and represent it.
Oh my God. I know those ones. No, guys, serious. This is serious. Oh my God. This is another thing to be addressed. A lot of people from Zimbabwe, I'm just thinking of another country that's so close to us. Oh, even Swaziland. Even here in the US, they say that they are from South Africa. They just basically round off to the nearest 10. Like, you are from Southern Africa, yes, but you are not South African, you are Zimbabwean. You are from Swaziland, you are not South African. They say that, you know, they are South Africans, and I've seen that, and they don't say they are from Zimbabwe. And this identity situation is a long story, guys. We are just talking about it. Don't be offended.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about Zimbabwe needing to apologize to South Africa. It's time to let go of that empty pride and apologize to South Africa. You stole a lot from this land and you are still doing it even now. You stole our spirituality through the things that were stolen. Our lives, the lives of our children, our material stuff. It's either you bring back everything or you face the wrath of poverty forever. You want South Africa to give you wealth, health, and comfortable life, and yet you give South African people pain, tears, deaths, and emotional rage due to sexual assaults done to the children of this land. How do you rape a 6-year-old child? Are you sane? Are you okay mentally? Ever since you came to South Africa, life has changed drastically. There are spiritual things that were sacred that you stole in the vendor land. You have churches on our land. Your churches are standing on top of people's body parts. Our beloved Moretele Park River in Mamelodi is now closed, all because of the body parts that were discovered in your so-called churches. You kill South Africans every day. South Africa doesn't owe you anything. You are cowards. You don't face your problems head on. Your former leader had you all on his grip. You were all afraid of him, all afraid to even mention his name. You knew all kinds of witchcraft he was able to perform. You knew how heartless he was towards all of you. Most of you inherited his evil ways, and you are performing it on the wrong land. You will keep on having those car or bus accidents on this land that you keep on wronging. Your time is up now. You will all pay for all the things that you are doing on this land. You will all learn how to fight your own battles in your own land. Your time is up now. Be warned. South Africans, it's now time for your justice. Justice will be prevailed. All of you who have been wronged by all of the Zimbabweans who have done all the bad things that they've done to this land, they are all going to pay. You will get your justice. I'm just a messenger. Thank you.
Hello guys, my name is Golden Boy, and I'm very glad that you have watched the video right from where this dude said that Zimbabwe have no identity. Now guys, I want to talk about these issues, and these are just an African issues where I've seen a lot of videos where the South Africans complaining about Zimbabweans. Now the major thing that I came to realize about Zimbabwe is that they have a major issues, and it is starting from where they don't want to fight against the regime, that of Mnangagwa. They don't want to fight against the corrupt regime of Mnangagwa, and they don't want to go home. And going home means that you need to go and start demanding for your rights in your own country, that is Zimbabwe. And it doesn't mean that you need to start demanding your rights in South Africa. So I've also come across where Zimbabweans are even referring some of their patients to go be treated in South Africa. So the issue is that Zimbabweans is really facing a lot of issues in their own country, and that's why you'll find that they are really running away from their own country, migrating illegally in South Africa. So I want to talk about these issues about South Africa too. So when you find these two countries, you compare Zimbabwe and South Africa, you'll find that Zimbabwe was colonized before South Africa. And that's why you'll find that South Africa is one of the countries that was colonized last, actually second last, in 1994. And this means that they got their freedom, full freedom, in 1994. So while others got long time ago, and these people who got long time ago started destroying their leaders, their countries, and even their leaders were also people who started destroying their country. And when you come to Africa, when you come to Kenya, you find that President Daniel Arap Moi also led Kenya for almost 24 years. So this means that these leaders started controlling, and they started becoming poor, like Zimbabwe, Mozambique. Now South Africa, leaders got opportunities to use those countries to make money for themselves by creating businesses in those countries. So South African leaders allowed foreigners to come and work so that they can send money back home and buy in these businesses for South Africans leaders. They don't care about South Africans, but they are the ones who voted for them. They failed even to open one company for South Africa for almost 30 years. So the companies held in South Africa are a private company, not for government, but they allowed the whole Africa to come and work or occupy everything in South Africa. There are rules that protect South African job, but government officials denied even the government himself the rule saying that the foreigners must be employed. If no one in South Africa has qualified for that post, but foreigners are securities, truck driver, tellers, every jobs foreigners occupy, the question is, where is the government? The answer is, the government's officials or leaders have got businesses in foreign countries. So foreigners that are here in South Africa are their customers. What about South Africans? They don't care. If South Africans get angry and fight foreigners, the government officials are the one who speak loud and say South Africans are xenophobic, and the foreigners also confident to say without hesitation that South Africans are xenophobic. If you look for baboons in the mountains, you are fortunate enough to find them in the mountains. Meaning, if you look for faults in someone's, you are born to find them. Now, this is also a difference to the Zimbabweans. Now, according to these stats, there are more incarcerated South Africans, criminals, than other nationalities. This means that there are more criminals, there are more South African criminals than those from the foreign countries. Another one is failure of parents to teach their children their language and culture in a foreign land is not even a crime and not unique to Zimbabweans. Now, I remember an interview of an EFF leader challenging his compatriots to show them the jobs stolen by foreigners that are not slave jobs, so he can replace them with South Africans. And also, stats also shows that the number of statistically of all foreigners in South Africa constitute less than 3 million people. So logically, this does not impact heavily on unemployed numbers. Should all these foreigners leave South Africa, even if you quadruple the figure, considering South Africans as about 46 million people. So we need to start googling the number of national languages of Zimbabwe and find the ones in common with South Africa. So some Zimbabweans have those roots and claim them. So as an example, I believe that this year a group of Shona speaking Zimbabwe were all accepted as naturalized Kenyan citizens. They can illegally decide to claim they are Zimbabweans, of which they are now no longer. So this is just a difference about what is really happening. And that's why we find that this lady was trying to apologize to South Africans because there are a lot of problems which are facing the both two countries, that is Zimbabwe and South Africa. So I love to neutralize this by saying that we as Africans, we need to start coming. We need to be very bond to one another and not hating one another, because we are in the same continent. I don't find it weird when I see a South African in Kenya. I don't find it weird when I found a Tanzanian here in Kenya, because we are of the same color, that is black, and our original continent is Africa. So how is Africa going to develop? How is Africa going to exchange these cultures and ideas and even the roots? How are we going to do this if we start eliminating one another? I know this has a lot of consequences, but what if we will get united and become a common thing and we defeat these leaders, corrupt leaders? Because I found it very weird when I see that someone is running away from his or a country because the country is being reigned by the corrupt regime. Their politicians are stealing public property left, right, and center, and that these politicians are really benefiting more than the citizens in those countries. It is very weird, but how are we going to defend this is when we start making these leaders accountable of what they are really doing, making these leaders understand that the things that they are doing, it is actually bad and illegal. So I also believe that one time we'll have a common currency like other continents, where we'll trade freely, move freely, and develop freely, and even freedom of speech being happening in Africa freely. Thank you guys for listening to me. This is Golden Boy, and see you in another episode.